Grand Rising family, welcome. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope everybody's having a phenomenal day. So, welcome everybody. Check in, let us know where you're hailing from. For anybody that hasn't been on for a while, I just want to let you know that we did give some breaking news yesterday. The news was outstanding on yesterday, family. We talked about how banks are now ready for currency exchanges and how legally now they can perform cross-border payments by using XRP and Ripple for the currency exchanges. So if you have Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, Zimbabwean zim, Indonesian rupiah, or Indian currencies, or any of those currencies that have been devalued through war or sanctions, know that we are very, very close to currency exchanges. We are on the precipice, family. So the notice came out from the Office of the Comptroller of Currencies stating that now banks no longer have to go through lawmakers or courts or any legalities or red tape for currency exchanges. That's huge because under the Biden administration, it was determined that banks could not do any of these cross-border transactions. Cross-border transactions or cross-border payments means that any transaction from Iraq to Afghanistan or Afghanistan to America, America to Ishbandu, they could not perform those type of transactions without going to the lawyers or without having laws passed. Well, now, as of March the 7th, banks don't have to do this. So this is huge again if you are a currency holder. So if you are, in fact, interested in that podcast, then please go to the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show on YouTube or Rumble. And on YouTube, you will see that it was this podcast that I did here. And Chief Matt came on at the end to talk about how we can buy depreciated assets and actually make ourselves wealthy and enjoy this new wealth transfer, this greatest transference in history. So we did that podcast on yesterday. Again, now banks do not have to go through red tape to do cross-border transaction. Cross-border transaction is just another way of saying they're ready for currency exchanges. This goes in alignment with my podcast that I did a couple of months ago. I re-uploaded a podcast where I talked about how this summer banks had met globally to make sure they were prepared for currency exchanges. So just go make sure you watch that video, family, if you're interested in getting on the greatest wealth transference in history. In the meantime, we're going to talk about this fiasco that happened in Ireland. Like, you know what, family, our ladies, our women have talked about women's equality so much, and we have talked about being equal to men so much that it has come to a point where we start to really feel like we don't need men. And I get it that women are amazing. We are beautiful. We're gorgeous. Everybody wants to be in our presence. We are energetically good and nurturing, all of these things. We're the companion or the opposite of man. And we truly are phenomenal beings as women. In fact, we are the portal between the other side of wherever that is, heaven or wherever it is, and here in this reality. We are the portal through which life comes. That makes us amazing. I get it. So we're the portal between this side and the other side. We also get to decide which life comes into this reality. And we get to decide which genetics are going to be perpetuated in the future. That makes us great. That makes us amazing. That makes us like really, really our demands for what we want because we are so amazing. And what I mean by arrogant, look up the word arrogant. It means you have an inflated ego, or you have an exaggerated sense of your own importance or abilities. Now, while we are important in terms of giving life and being a companion to a man, we seem to have this idea that we're equal to men and we can do the same thing as men. Why am I bringing that up, family? So, chime in, family, check in, let us know who you are, what you think about this so far. This is the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. It is Thursday, March the 13th. Happy 13, 2025. The time is 11:44 a.m. But it's almost like we've gotten to the point where we think we don't need men. And I think it's embarrassing. I don't know where it's coming from. So what made me think about this is I've been listening to a lot of podcasters where women are going to mixers and women are going to different, dating places because they're looking for men. They're looking for companionship, or they're going, to college. They're going to these speed dating things, and they're going to different shows on television. They're like, where are the men? Why can't I find a man? It's not that you can't find a man. It's that men are here. They just don't go to mixers. They're not in the clubs. They're not at the typical places where women used to think it was okay to go to find a man. Like, it's like women have become men. Women are now hunting for men on one end, and on the other end saying, I don't need a man. So I've been looking at these dating shows, and more importantly, I looked at what's going on in Ireland. In Ireland, there was this huge strike during, what is it called? International Women's Day. Thousands of women went on strike to protest at an abortion ban because abortion is not legal there. So we have the ability to bring life, and we are the portal through which life comes, and we carry life. And it's like we hate it now, and we want the government, a man, to tell us that we have the right to kill our babies. I'm just trying to understand the psychology around it. So here you are in Ireland. This has happened in Ireland. Well, 100,000 women went on strike to say, I am a woman, not a womb or a womb man, where literally that's where the word comes from, because you can bring life. You have a womb. I'll give you a little backdrop here. 100,000 women in Iceland. I said Ireland, excuse me. It was Ireland. Was it Ireland or Iceland? Let me get it right. Ireland, it is right. Ireland. 100,000 women in Ireland went on strike to demand gender equality, saying that, I'm a woman. I'm equal to a man. I'm going to stay off work to prove that I'm equal to a man. Now, the entire population in Ireland is 370,000 people. So 100,000 women went on strike. That's what? 25, almost 30% of the population went on strike. They thought they would impact the economy, and nothing happened. The economy didn't stop. Everything went on as usual. But in fact, what was reported was for that time period, 24 or so hours where the women went on strike, Human Resources got zero complaints for the whole time women were out marching, protesting, screaming, I am the same as a man. I'm equal to a man. That whole period that women were off work, HR got no complaints. But the economy went on as usual. So let's look at this story just for a second here. Thousands of women have gone on strike in towns and cities across Northern Ireland and the Republic to protest the country's abortion bans as part of the day of action organized to coincide with International Women's Day. Women wore all Black and were engaged to take the day off, or encouraged to take the day off, as well as refraining from performing emotional labor, unpaid gender expectations that are placed on women. The largest march was held in Dublin, where protesters blocked off the bridge, the O'Connell Bridge, bearing or barring banners urging legal reform and chanting. The rally culminated outside the Lannister House, the Irish Parliament building, and the crowd shouted, "Get your rosaries off my ovaries," in reference to the influence of the Catholic Church on the local legislation as well. They also chanted, "Not the church, not the state. Women must decide their fate." So I agree, decide your fate. You're saying that the church shouldn't tell you that you should continue to have babies, but then you're asking the government to fight for you to kill your babies. Make it make sense. But I am woman, hear me roar. We don't need men. Do you know that if every man stopped working right now, we would literally die? If every man stopped working right now, we would die. Because traditionally, men have protected the borders. Yeah, we have some women protecting the borders, but if the women stop protecting the borders, so what? Who cares? If the men stop protecting the borders, we would die. If the men stop building the houses, we would die. If the men stop building the infrastructure, if the men stop fighting in wars, I just don't know why we think we don't need men. Has the programming gotten to us so much that now we want to kill our babies? We don't need men. We want to continue to raise children by ourselves. We want to protect ourselves. We want to do the heavy lifting. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. We're supposed to be populating, not depopulating. For all the people out here that say they are Christians, the Bible says, "Be fruitful and multiply." For all the people that say they are Christians, you're supposed to multiply, not kill your children. Like, what does your God of the Bible think of you rallying for killing your children? Help me understand. Help me understand, overstand, because I'm missing something. Maybe at one time women had some type of complaint about equality and they wanted to go out and work. But again, if you all stop working, men will not cheat as much, because 85%, and I say about 90% of the cheating that happens actually happens at work. So there are no good men. They all cheat. They're weak. They're lazy. They're this, they're that. Who helped them get there? Us. I'm not blaming us. I'm saying we got to stop this rhetoric that I am equal to a man. I don't need a man, because yes, you do. You can't even procreate by yourself. And I keep hearing this conversation every time I come on and I talk about how we need men. It's the women in my comments saying, "You never say anything good about women. You always say we need men." At one time, we had parthenogenesis and we created babies on our own. And we didn't need men. And we had the matriarchy and we had matrilineal societies. You talking to the right one. I studied matriarchy. I studied anthropology. I studied matrilineal societies. I studied parthenogenesis. And it may have occurred at one time, but we're not there now. We won't even go over the statistics of what these babies go through being raised in a single parent household without a man. Help me make it make sense, family. And this is not the type of podcast that's going to be popular. This is not the type of podcast that people want to hear. Women just don't want to hear that we're not equal to men. And that hurts my soul. Ask your child what it's like to grow up without a father. What did you feel like growing up, if you ever had to experience that without a father? Talk to the children, sit them down, and actually ask them what they went through. Okay, because if it was so wonderful for these children to grow up without a father, why are they killing each other in the streets? If it's so wonderful growing up in a household without daddy at home, why are teachers quitting their jobs? It's egregious. It bothers me. It troubles my soul. So I'm listening to these podcasts because I'm a podcaster and I'm hearing all these women saying, I'm going on mixers, I'm going on dates, I'm going on speed dating. And there are like 85 women to one man. And this one particular podcaster said that she went to this speed dating thing, this mixer trying to find a man. Okay, now we're hunting for men. And it was full of women. She's like, where are all the men? At the end of the night, she realized that there were only 10 men to 85 women in the place. And so in the beginning, and so as the night went on, there were so many women of all different shapes and sizes that were there at this event. And they're all looking at each other, that the coordinators of the event took the few little men, 10 or so men, took them upstairs, talked to them and said, you see, there's all the women. I want you to pick which women you want, and we'll bring them upstairs and we'll conduct the speed dating here. And all the rest of the women were out just downstairs chilling out, talking, kiki and kakaing, while the men picked the few women of the litter. They were taken upstairs and they got to see which ones were suitable for courtship and or marriage. And at the end of the night, the woman who was the podcaster was angry. And she said, these men act like they're the prize. Well, you know what? You know what? In a situation where women outnumber men, guess who's the prize? I'm not saying women aren't a prize. We are a prize to somebody. But you know, the podcaster went on to say these men are arrogant. They think they're the prize. They think they're worth something. They think that we want them. Well, you're the ones out here saying there's no men. You're the ones out here in the clubs, at the parties, at the mixers, looking for a man, and you're outnumbering them. Sweethearts, I've never seen a situation where there were more prizes than competitors. I'll say that again. I've never been in a situation where there are more prizes than the people that are competing for the prize. If there are more women and fewer men from which to choose, okay, in that type of situation, yeah, the man's probably the prize. And yet it's not the men that's out here saying, I don't need you. It's us. It's egregious. Now women are not having children. It's becoming a problem. Population is going down. We're not having children. The population is decreasing. The ones that we have, we can barely raise correctly or properly. And I hear women say, oh, my kids are just fine. Have you asked your child if he's fine? No, you're arrogantly stating what you think. I can be a mama and a daddy. Can you really? Can I really? I've never seen a situation again where there are more prizes than competitors. And when you talk about it being a competition, we get upset. Women think we don't have to compete. I don't understand. I'm having a hard time. So now we're in a situation where the Supreme Court here in America and courts all over the world are saying we're no longer saying it's up to us to say whether or not women can get abortions. Now that's left up for the states to decide. And we're upset about that. And it's interesting because the rhetoric that the deep state will use is that some women are great. And so they should be able to decide whether or not they want to keep the baby. And to that, I say that's none of my business. If a woman is raped or sexually assaulted, that it's her body. It was against her will. I'm not here to say whether or not she should bring that life. Of course, I do know of some women that happened to and they brought the life in, and the child is happy to live, but I don't know the other side of the story. My hands are off of that. But less than 1% of abortions are performed because of rape. Less than 1%. So why do we keep using this rhetoric? Why do we keep saying women are out here getting sexually assaulted which we know they are, as if that's the reason we want abortions? If we're honest with ourselves, a lot of us have done it because we're not wise about who we give access to, our bodies to. Women grant access to sex. Men grant access to marriage. It is the man that asks for your hand in marriage. And I'll hear women say, not all women want to be married. I will grant you that. Why are you in the bars? Why are you going to speed dating? Why are you going to dating scenarios? Why are you online complaining that there are no good men? Why are you saying that men are no good? Why are you complaining about child support or lack of thereof? Why are you saying that you want a 6 foot tall man with 6 figures and 6 inches of a penis? Why do you all want the same man? Because it's obvious you want some companionship. And if you were smart, you wouldn't carry before you marry. And what I mean by if you weren't smart, if you were smart, you would get married first, because at least there is some protection around your bringing life into the world. So I'm just trying to figure out why so many of us are saying we don't need men, because the men are doing the infrastructure, they're cleaning the water, they're protecting the borders, they're building the houses. And the thing is, men have made it so safe for us that we can now protest and complain and moan and cry and say, I am woman, hear me roar. I don't need a man. They've made it so safe for us that we can whine like children. And the government has stood in the gap. Now the government can say, you know what? If you don't want a husband, I'll give you some money. I'll give you food stamps. I'll give you housing. I'll give you this. I'll give you a job through DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, affirmative action, whatever you want. But guess what? That's now coming to a screeching halt. The government is downsizing. Those so-called entitlement benefits, making us, feel like we're entitled. We don't need a man. I can do whatever I want. They're going away. What are you going to do? What is us going to do? When the government stops giving out food stamps, Section 8, it's already happening. Insurance, welfare, and when child support ceases to exist, because child support is unlawful. It is unlawful for the government to tap into a man's trust to pay you or me and our children. And it's unlawful to give his Social Security out to the government. So child support is going away with. What is us going to do now? Literally, some women walked away, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, from some of these speed dating and dating shows and opportunities to meet good men because they weren't above 5'9". How foolish do we sound? Oh, he wasn't 6 foot, so he had a good job and he was a good man and he looked good, but he wasn't 6 foot. How many 6 foot tall men do we think exist? And if every single woman wants a 6 foot tall man, you might as well expect him to cheat. Y'all hate Kevin Samuels, but the man has a point. I actually love the man. He had a point. How many men are above 5'10", 6 foot? Like, do we really think rationally? Well, stay single then. Stay single. Or keep having babies by Pookie and Ray Ray. And then wonder how you're going to take care of them, because guess what? A lot of these corporate jobs are ending. The government is ending. Entitlement benefits are ending. So go ahead and keep sleeping with Pookie and Ray Ray, or share your man. I mean, why do I care? Share your man. Everybody wants the 6 foot tall man. And then you say he's not the prize, but he got the pick of the litter. And we don't want to compete. Try to tell a woman to lose some weight and watch her say he has to accept me as I am. And she's well over 200, 300 pounds. It's real out here in these streets. You want a man? Yes, you're going to have to compete, because first of all, you outnumber a man. Then when it comes to the man that you want, you really are in dire straits because everybody wants him. So it's really a competition out here. I've never in my life heard so many women say he has to accept me as I am, as I've heard. I'm a woman's woman. Look, I have a mother. I had grandmoms. I was raised by women. I've had when I've been under women's leadership when it comes like women's ministry. But I also respect men. I had a daddy. He passed, God rest his soul. I have a brother. I have brothers-in-law who still cover me, even though my husband has passed on. I have cousins that act like that are I was raised with like a brother. I have uncles. I have pastors that I respected and revered and looked up to and subjugated myself to and was submissive to. I had male bosses that I subjected myself to and have been submissive to. I know and understand how to love and appreciate men. Men, yes, make it safe for us. They protect us from other men. Duh. And the women in their arrogance will say, oh, look at that. Oh, so I need a man to protect me from what? Another man. Huh. So all men are bad. No, ignoramus. Some are bad, just like some women are bad. And you're not stronger than a man. So yes, a man needs to protect you from another man, and he needs to protect us from bad energy. Demonic spirits that will only attack women because they know men don't play with them. So if a man stops working, if all men stop flying the planes, stop protecting us, stop fighting the war, stop protecting the borders, stop cleaning the water, stop dealing with the infrastructure, stop building the houses, we and our children would die. I don't care about what it used to be like in the beginning and how we need to return to the beginning when we all could create children by ourselves through parthenogenesis. I don't care about any of that as it relates to where we are now. Yes, it's nice history. I love it. I'm a woman. I love the idea and the concept of matriarchy, but I know how to exist with a man. And I know how to compete. So you have women saying, I'm not going to lose weight. I'm not going to be soft. I'm not going to be feminine. I'm going to be equal. I'm going to work hard just like a man. I've heard women saying, I'm not having sex with him. He's just going to have to understand. And I'm thinking, what you won't do, another woman will. I hate to be that one to say it. It's a statement that they have said throughout all of my life. We weren't offended when our grandmothers pulled us inside and said, baby, what you won't do, another woman will. Baby, keep your weight down. Even after you have children, I've never heard so many women say, well, he got to understand I had babies. I follow people. I hear people saying, he got to understand I'm 200, 300 pounds because I have babies and woman's body change, or I'm in menopause and I change. He ain't got to understand nothing. He can. It's a blessing if he does. We're grateful when he is understanding and compassionate and empathetic. He ain't got to understand nothing. Yes, our bodies go through changes. We give birth and it's hard to lose the weight. People say it's hard to lose weight. Now, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for us in my generation because we did what we had to do. We went walking. We nursed our babies because nursing your baby on your breast actually contracts, makes your uterus contract, and it helps you to lose weight. We went walking. We went jogging. We went walking with our children in the strollers up and down the street. Because back when I was growing up, I was raised in Cleveland, but as a teenager, I was raised in Portsmouth, Ohio. All the women didn't drive. We walked, and we walked with our children in the carriage. And we did these workout videos and we did sit-ups and push-ups at home. Because mama, grandmama, the lady over the women's ministry, all the women in the community, or even some of the men said, baby, keep your weight down so you can get a man. You need a man to cover you so you can have a helpmeet. You need a man to help you bring in some children. Keep your weight down, baby. And then after you got that man, baby, keep your weight down. Because it's competition out here. Every woman's looking at your man. And I don't care what these women say when they say, I don't need a man. They strong and independent till they see your good provider man come walking down the street. Then all of a sudden, and they're ovulating, their panties get tied up in a bunch because they see your good provider man. All of a sudden, these strong, independent women, they want to lay with your man and they're willing to be mistresses. Oh, do not believe these women who say I can do it on my own. They are willing to be a mistress for your man and a side piece. The strong, independent ones. Who the ones in the office cheating? And I rest my case. It's the strong, independent ones that don't need a man. They cheating with your husband. Keep your weight down. Exercise. I never heard so many women say, as I have now today, he just have to understand. How hard is it to go walking? How hard is it to put the food down? How hard is it to drink more water? How hard? The moment you make up your mind is when you get it done. And I'm not saying that will stop a man from cheating. What I'm saying is do your part. But you don't have to. Listen to me. You could be alone when the government collapses and all these jobs shut down. You could be alone when it's time to start bearing children and the men are taken by the women that competed. The women taught us to keep our figure intact. And I recall when I was a young wife, my husband saying, babe, you look great. And I've always stayed a certain size, 140 to 145 pounds. I'm just a little over that now, but I'm getting back down. And I'm 56, approaching 60. Just a little bit over my high school weight of 145. But there were times when my husband would say, babe, you look great. Can you just tone this right here a little bit? So when you tone that up, ooh, wow. And I wasn't offended. I was like, yeah, babe, you're right. I am jiggling a little bit back there, babe. And I would go put on my bikinis, my little panties, and my little bra and work out in front of him. Or wait till he went to work. But, I wanted to entice him. And then I might go and cook and clean in a little maid outfit. I got married at 18. The women told us, get a man and please do all you can to keep them. Now, situations occur where people get divorced. I've been there. I understand. I overstand. But when you get back out there in the market, it ain't as easy as we think it is. And we do need a man. I hear women say, my body changes. He has to understand. And meanwhile, there are other women at the gym or working out or running or jogging. I see them all over my community running and jogging all the time, these women. And I've heard men in my family say to me, Kia, you have no idea how hard it is when I'm begging my wife to get in the gym and she's gaining weight pound after pound after pound. And here are these fit, feminine, sweet women in the gym working out, toned in the gym or at work. And I'm begging my woman, will you go to the gym with me? Or babe, let's do something. And I'm trying to respect that she just doesn't want to, or she's not comfortable. Or I've even heard women in my family say, look, I'm comfortable. I'm happy. Shit, I got him. He can divorce me if he wants to. I'll take half. And I'm looking up here like, wow, have we become that comfortable? And we wonder why men don't want to get married. There's no incentive. Because what? If you don't do, you'll feel like I don't have to stay in shape. I don't have to cook. I don't cook. I don't clean. Who's that sings that? I don't cook. I don't clean. I don't do this. I don't do that. Might as well throw in there. I don't have to stay in shape. I can kill my babies if I get pregnant by him. I mean, and what he gonna do? Leave me? I'll just take half of his assets. Why would a man want to get married? So the few that do, you're competing for. So I think we women need to stop the cap because we really need men. You're going to ovulate at some point. You're going to want to have sex with a man. You're going to have become childbearing age. You're going to have don't age out. Don't hit the wall. That's all Kevin Samuels was saying, is that a lot of women hit the wall. What he means, you age out. Above 35, you can still have children, but they call it a geriatric pregnancy for a reason, because some children actually come out developmentally delayed once a woman has children above 35. The med beds should and will correct that. But I'm talking about where we are right now. Don't hit the wall and age out because you thought you didn't need a man. So you were chasing a bag, chasing money, having sex with as many people as you want to, having a whole phase. I just talked to a woman a couple weeks ago. I'm glad I had a whole phase. Ha, ha, ha. I hold it up, I slutted it out, and I'm just sitting up here like, and some man wifed you. And now, and she even said, now I had a whole phase. Psh, I don't need to have sex. I had enough. I was like, what about your husband? Girl, what he gonna do? Leave me? I'll just take half. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. And so when that one man who's been begging you to have sex and you won't do it with your husband because you had your whole phase all the way up to you were in your 50s, and he's begging you to lose weight. He's begging you to give him sex. He's begging you to cater to his needs. He's begging you to go out with him. He's begging you. And here comes Marilisa, I don't know, Shang Li, Bonquisha, with a slim figure, ready to bust it wide open, as the young people say. Excuse me, I know y'all not used to hear me. Ready to spread her legs, to part the sea, to welcome in his seed of a good man. What is he supposed to do if you won't lose weight? You have an arrogant attitude. You won't go to the gym. You relish in your whole face. Like, I don't understand. Somebody help me. And it's like the women that are like this are so loud all over the internet, out on the street, and they don't even have to speak it. Their bodies tell me. Their attitudes tell me. Their disposition tell me. But you're okay being a mistress. Okay. I don't understand. Help me make it make sense. So we're equal to a man, we say. We're out here working like men until we hit the wall, until we're 40 and we're tired of working. We're tired of fighting traffic. We're tired of all the men in the office hitting on us. And even if a man smiles at us, now we're screaming to the HR and talking about sexual harassment. Now you wonder why a man won't talk to you. Oh, men are so scared. They're pussies. They're wimps. They're so effeminate. They won't even approach a woman. Why would they? When every time a man smiles at you, you go run into the human resource department. Or anytime a man say you look beautiful, ew, I don't like me. Oh my God, how dare you? You're not even 6 foot tall. Don't hit the wall, ladies. Now you're 40. You're tired of working. You're tired of fighting with sexual harassment at the job. You're tired of the man for whom you work. You're tired of life. Now you want to be in your house. You're 45. You may or may not be in shape. You may have been such a go-getter and so aggressive that now you've lost your feminine touch. You can't even be sweet. You can, but you stop doing it. And we have women online, and we have women coaches, and we have women in our lives that will teach us how to be pleasant, how to be sweet, how to draw a man, how to attract a man, how to do certain rituals, how to wear certain colors, how to move your hands, how to cross your legs, how to bat your eyes, how to drop a handkerchief. But you know what women today say? I'm not doing all that for a man. Stay single. Stay unprotected. Don't hit the wall. Don't be 40 something, 50 something saying you can't get a man. And somebody told me you must not have a man because if you had a man, kid, you'd be all over the internet. No, I wouldn't, because I'm not foolish like you. I'm not going to be all over the internet telling you about my good man. The devil is a lie. Because some of you women are so hungry that you wouldn't bat an eye sleeping with my man. Oh, heck no. No, I wouldn't. Don't mind yourself about what I got. I'm fine over here. That's why I smile every day. I'm fine over here, baby. I'm trying to help some of the women. And there are some women coaches out there that are trying to help ladies. But you know what? We've allowed society to tell us we don't need a man. We're equal to a man. We can act like a man. And we've allowed society to tell women that look like me, you got black girl magic, honey, coconut shea wearing, hair in a bonnet, acting, attitude. All the single ladies, put your hands up. I don't need a man. I'm a queen. I'm a goddess. And it's gotten to our heads. So much so that men don't want us. If they wanted you for marriage, they would tell you. Sure, man. And I heard women say, oh, I can get a man. I mean, men hit on me all the time. You can get a man to sleep with you. But is he your companion? Are you in covenant with one another? I keep saying it. What one woman won't do, about 10 other will. And it may not stop him from cheating, but but it'll bring his behind home at night. Believe that. I know. You see the smile on my face? I know. Don't age out, ladies. And let me tell you, people got mad at Kevin Samuels when he said, roof, roof, get a dog, or meow, get a cat. Which one do you want, a dog or a cat? Get a dog and die. And I thought that, I said, now, Kevin, you don't have to go that far. Now, men, y'all don't have to say that. That's what I would say, because my granny had a cat. My mommy had a cat. I'm allergic to animals, but I was like, what's wrong with having a cat or a dog? People are asking for Chief. Chief, I sent you a link. I see you're in the house. You're welcome to join in. What's wrong? Let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with having a cat or a dog. There's nothing wrong with having fish. There's nothing wrong with, it's not a crime to have an animal. But what I've noticed from a lot of women is that you will substitute human interaction for your animal. And I thought, and I was like, oh, what's wrong with that? But I don't know. I'm watching people, and it's like, we're having human conversation. It's like, oh, you want to see my doggies, mommy and daddy? Here's a picture of my doggies, mommy and daddy. And I'm like, I'm not really concerned about your doggies, mommy and daddy, but I guess we can talk about that. Oh, I had to pay for my dog to get surgery. It cost $5,000. Okay. Well, I mean, if I love my dog like it was my child, I would pay for it. I would. I'm just like, but do we hear ourselves? Like, you're telling me you need a man, you want a man, but your dog is such a big part of your life that it takes up a lot of your income, a lot of your energy. You're spending money, buying clothes and medicines. What man is going to come in and sign up for that? Somebody help me understand. I don't know. I'm a man. I'm not a man. If you're a man and you want to talk about this, I mean, because maybe, we got Taj in the chat. We got Ken. We got Chief. I mean, we got men here, sisters. I love you all too. I just want to hear from a man. Like, I mean, maybe I'm just blowing off steam. Maybe the men will come in and sign up for that, for playing daddy to your doggy, because you were alone. You were lonely. I get it. Or I was lonely. Most men probably won't sign up for that. And I'm saying this because we women need to stop the cap with all this, I don't need a man. And I hear it every time I get online and I talk about how to be elegant, how to be graceful, how to attract a man, how to be lovely, how to be pleasant, how to be feminine. Like, it has to come from within. When I come talking about it, it's women in the comment section. You're taking me back to the 1920s. I don't need a man. And I got a right of my own body. Do you all know that the Roe versus Wade situation that occurred to propagate this whole abortion rights thing, the woman's name, first of all, is not even Roe. Her real name is Norma McCorvey. And they were talking about maritime law and admiralty law, row your boat, get it? Her name wasn't even Roe. And she admitted to lying that she was raped by 5 Black men and therefore needed an abortion. She admitted that she lied. And she said she was tricked by the deep state, and she lied about the whole thing. And now we're using that as a talking point for why we need to kill our babies. And we wonder why a man won't wife us up. Well, Pruitt, you're not married. You don't know what I am. But I can tell you that I was married, God rest his soul, and I buried him 3 years ago. And I don't have a problem with men offering rings. I just don't have the problem. And most of you don't have the problem, but some of us have that issue. So I'm saying, ladies, Let's please know you're not the same as a man. You're not equal to a man. You're as important as a man. You're valuable. You're wonderful. You're amazing. You bring life. You're all of that. But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having a man in your life to provide for you, to protect you. And speaking of provision, why is it that you over 35 years old and you need a man to fully provide? Somebody help me understand, because you are over 35, but you don't want to go 50-50. Now, these people that's doing this, oh, a man shouldn't go 50-50 like that one guy. What's that guy's name? That's going around parading all over social media talking about my woman never has to go 50-50. He's pandering to us. This man is known as a scammer. Y'all, he just reinvented himself. He had 4 or 5 wives, many of whom filed complaints against him saying that he was beating them. And then he ran another scam saying he was giving people homegrown herbs. And it was one of his wives or mistresses that ratted him out, that said he wasn't a Dr. Sabi. He wasn't growing homegrown herbs. But in fact, he was buying these herbs and then he was reselling them to you. And he was selling people land, all that. He was a scammer. What is that dude's name? Yoda, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, when they say yada, yada means he's just running his mouth. And women are buying it up. If you are a grown woman, you're over 35, you got college debt, you got kids, you got bills, you own a car. Why does a man have to fully provide? What man in this economy can fully provide for you and your children that don't belong to him? Help me make it make sense. He's supposed to pay off all of your student loan debt, take care of all the bills. And even if he did that, some of y'all don't even run his bath water, cook his food, give him sex whenever he needs it, rub him down, massage his head. Baby, I'm up before the crack of dawn. Okay, my man, my former husband, God rest his soul, any man that I'm with, my companion who I am in covenant with, would never get up before me, making sure that the lunch is packed, the dinner is cooked, the breakfast is cooked. I've never seen so many men at Starbucks and all these other places. I've never seen so many men in the workplace that have to go fend for themselves. I've never heard so many complaints from men because their wives won't cook breakfast for them. I don't understand. Won't cook breakfast, look, I'm going to cook your breakfast. Your lunch is going to be ready the night before you go to work. Your dinner is going to be cooked for the week, or at least for a few days up, and then we're going to have some meat, because I don't eat meat, but you eat meat. It's going to be marinating in the freezer or in the refrigerator, and some of it's going to be already cooked. Stuff, crock pots going on, stuff stacked up in the refrigerator that I got in containers that's cooked, and your snacks and your food and your water. When you come in the door, I got your slippers. I'm sitting you down. How was your day? I'm massaging your feet. I'm rubbing your head. I did it when I had a job and children. Let alone you're 45 and you can't do it for a man after he's been working all day. These men work all day, go to the gym, deal with your bills, deal with your kids, their ex-wives, their baby mamas, but you can't even massage his head when he walks to the door. Baby, how was your day? Here's your slippers. Here's your drink. Dinner's already ready. And I'm going to keep my mouth shut for a while. I'm not even going to talk once you say how your day was, because I know you don't want to hear my mouth all day long. That's what my mama's for. That's what my girls are for. That's what my sisters are for. My daughter's for, so I can run my mouth to them. I'm not going to burden you with my problems. How was your day, baby? Let me take your clothes off. I'm going to massage your body. I'm going to massage you from head to toe. I'm going to massage your feet. I'm going to get you, what's your favorite oil? I'm going to massage. I'm going to rub you down. I'm going to get all the kinks out of your body, head to toe. You don't have to do nothing special. I'm going to do it just because you're mine. You're my man. And I know that I'm competing out here in these streets. And I look good. My hair's not messed up. I'm dressed up. This is how I operated in my marriage and when I'm in covenant or in a relationship, or I'm being vetted for marriage. Sorry about that. I had internet issues. So, family, I apologize for going, and I'm gonna shut up. And I'm having internet issues, so I need to close my mouth. Welcome, Chief Mac. How are you? Thank you. This is a Chief of the Soul Tribe. We're honored to have you.
Greetings, guys.
Well,
Y'all hear me?
we hear you.
Well, Dr. Kent, you and I talked earlier, and so um, when this women and men, and about women saying they don't need men. I just heard you talking about, when I grew up, my brothers and sisters and I, my siblings and I, my mom taught us that when my dad came home from work, because my mom was a stay-at-home mother, and she taught us when as soon as your dad come home from work, she taught us how to reverence him.
Hmm.
So when he would come home from work, we would all look crump snatchers. It'd be like maybe five, six, or seven of us fighting to untie his shoes from work.
Mm-hmm.
And we would say, Daddy, I love you. I love you, Daddy. And we would untie his shoes. As soon as he stepped in that side door, and we would hug him and help him walk up the stairs. And my mom had his plate in the oven to make sure that it's Salisbury steak, plenty of onions, a tall glass of ice water, some greens and cornbread, and made sure his plate was twice as big as ours.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught us how to reverence our dad. Nowadays, it seems like the system have taught our women how to be strong without a man, and that was infiltration of destruction of the indigenous family of America,
Mm.
and because of that, that was like that was in like the '80s, in the '80s, and that was during a time when the so-called crack cocaine epidemic in the late
Oh.
'70s, where in the late '70s and early '80s is when the penal system was started to boom in America because it was for commerce.
Mm.
So they had to disrupt, distract the indigenous people of the Americas first because it was for profit. They built the prison systems, and then it was a military operation when they put the drugs on all the inner cities of America
Mm.
was a military operation.
Mm.
And it was all planned so that the investors worldwide, when they made their investments in the penal system, they had to know that they was going to get a massive return. And that
Ah.
massive return was to create laws on the books so that when we throw this on the streets, this is your
Mm.
return. Watch what's going to happen. It's going to disrupt their families. We already took that man out the house by telling that woman, if you want Uncle Sam to take care of you very well, then I could recall the days when my dad couldn't even be at the house because my mom needed extra food stamps. So
Mm.
we had to move into an apartment next door to the main house
Mm.
to make it seem like my dad wasn't staying there. Because in order for my mom to get those food stamps, we better not, and this is where the term came, but we better not find those shoes in the house.
Yep.
There
Yep.
better not be no size 13 or 12s in there, because I know when that woman feet that big, unless she got a stick, you know. And so all of this stuff happens to to take the safety net away from our women. We'll give us some tricklets.
Mm.
We'll start giving her, we'll start making room for her to emasculate that man so that there's no repercussions that come when she do that. There's no repercussion when you get angry because when you get angry, you shouldn't say or do things when you're angry because 90% of
Mm.
the time it's not going to be the right decision.
Mm.
And so when they had the penal system there, they did that because now I know that when you go to jail, you paying room and board out of your estate for them to kidnap you and put you in that federal warehouse. You paying room and board out of your estate, and you paying to 3 lousy ass meals they feed you from your estate. So this is what they're doing. So when a man is not there to bring balance to that young man, when he gets up to age, that woman, you can't do it. My mom couldn't do it when I turned 14. I had muscles. I got big. My mom, when she was with me, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. I was like, man, woman, I'm like, let me go. But when she said, I'm telling Charles, oh, I had a
Mm.
healthy level. Because Charles had grown and had some hands like lunch boxes. He would snatch you up out your shoes. And your shoes would still be right there and you be in the air. I was sitting there snatching my
Mm.
brother Michael in the air like a rag doll. And I said, I don't want no parts of that. But he had to do that because he was saying, I'm going to put some fear in my boys because I'm not losing my boys to the mean streets of Gary, Indy, and so when women, you run in your mouth, you sticking your shoelaces up your behind when you're doing that. Because if you love your offspring, it would take a
Mm.
man to bring balance because a woman can't raise a soldier. You're going to raise a simp.
Oh, oh my
Because as soon
God.
as your son do something that he shouldn't do, oh, come on, baby. Mommy going to love it. Or dad said, let me tell you something, boy. Come here. Come here.
Mhm.
When I cussed in the house at my sister, and my dad came home from work, and she told my dad, I said, why in the hell are you going to tell him that man going to kill me? So my dad came in the house slowly, went up to him, and she said, oh, dad, he cussed. He said, motherfucker. I said, she cussed.
Mhm.
So he had this plate in his hand of this meal. He said, come here, boy. So I was like, what? I said, he got a plate and a spoon in his hand, so he ain't got no belt. He said, come in. So I was inching up to him slowly. He said, get a little closer. Come in. I still remember it like it was yesterday. He said, come here. He said, did you cuss in my house? This my
Mm.
house.
Mm.
He said, did you cuss in my house? I said, well, Kim, she was snatching on me and trying to pull on me. He said, I don't care. He said, did you cuss in my house? Because you don't pay no bills. Did you cuss in my house?
Right.
I said, yeah. The next thing I know, I was almost knocked out.
Mm.
He had took that spoon and hit me upside the head with it, and I was spinning around like this. And I cussed him out of my head. But
In your head.
now that as I got older, I understood those boundaries. My daddy taught me, he taught my brothers and I a healthy level of fear. It's healthy. It's healthy enough for me to still be alive today, and all of my siblings, my mom and son. My mom had 5 boys and 5 girls. All of us are still alive today.
Mm.
Because in the main streets of Gary, Indiana, which became
Yeah.
murder capital of the
Of the
whole
world.
United States, that's my
Yeah.
pedigree, and that's where my siblings and I are from. None of us have no felonies, in jail, shot, a whole bunch of bastard kids out here. So the unorthodox way of my mom and dad raising us, it worked. It worked.
And you all have careers,
Yes.
done very well for yourselves. Every last one of you.
I have a brother that have his television show. You guys, the Jamie McGrone show. You guys can go there and support him. He's doing some amazing things, and there's an event that he and I are going to this weekend, the whole weekend. I have about 5, 6 siblings. Jamie, he's written a book. My brother, 1 year younger than me, my brother Michael has written a book. I have 3 sisters that have written a book. I have another older brother that has written books. So my family is an honorable family. All of
Yes,
us
sir.
are entrepreneurs in our own rights, and we build and we support each other. But I say that I have to give all honor and glory to my mom and dad for the unorthodox way that they raised us. All has to go in the main streets of Gary, Indiana, where families were dying, losing love, children and offsprings, and so having a dad at home, having a dual parent at home, a mom and dad at home, really brought balance to my siblings and I. It really brought a lot of balance, guys. And so that's why Dr. Ken and I, we're um, we're really homing in on family and health,
Family.
guys. It may not sound good in the beginning right now, ladies.
Yeah.
It may not feel good to hear constructive criticism, What is constructive criticism? It's criticism with love and correction.
That's right.
Because if not, there's a lot of single. In fact, my brother Michael, he's a principal of a prison for boys,
Mm.
and the heart wrenching stories that he says about these young men. Most of these young men don't have a dad at home. Most of them, right here in Chicago,
Wow.
these young men have turned to wild animals. Because when they go to these prison systems, they're not treating them right.
Mm.
They're emasculating them. They're sexually assaulting them. Some of these boys haven't been outside in months.
Mm.
They're beating up on them, snatching their dreads out. Then they let these boys out on the streets who feel failed by their parents. And they
Mm.
don't think one time about taking you up out of here. They're training these boys to be wild animals and they let them out in the streets. And so when
Mm.
you see all the killing happening, the murdering, these young men, they don't have any remorse in their heart because they've been in the prison system and they've been failed by us because we too busy worried about ourselves and being concerned with ourselves. As you got a lot of career women out there now. They have turned you to career women to the point you said that my career is more important than me really raising a productive son, a daughter.
Mm.
You got some women say, I don't even want a child. And if they had one, they said, well, I'm gonna put all my focus on my career. And I'm gonna let the streets are gonna raise them or the television. And you gotta realize that television is programming.
Yeah.
And most of our women are acting masculine because I tell you guys that the women that are on TV are not women.
Mm.
There are inverted men that look like women. Until you
Mm.
get that to your head, and they are acting oversexed, bodacious,
Mhm.
showing their skin. Those are men on TV that are masking as women, and they're oversexed. They're emasculating the men. They're beating up on the men, and then television gives you a false reality that the impressionable mind sees and turn into a reality. Get that
Mm.
ignorant devil too from your
Mm.
children's eyes.
Chief, can I
Starts
show
with
you?
go ahead. So
No, go ahead, Chief. I'm sorry. I want you to finish your thought.
this wealth transfer, guys, is so important that it's going to give us an opportunity, my dear sisters and brothers, the opportunity to get out here and clean up this shit. Me, myself, I'm single and I'm working on me, the innermost parts of me, to become the best that I can be to the queen of my life. So I'm in the gym working out. I'm not allowing myself to be all sloppy and say, because I want my lady to be and look a certain way. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So when she see me, she's gonna like the way my body feels. She's gonna like the touch, gonna like the way I present myself, like the way I smell, like the way I dress. So this my mom told us to make sure that I don't want no son with no dangling arms. She gonna get down. She bought weights. She bought heavy bags in that basement. She bought a piano because she said I want to keep my children mind in this house.
Wow. Wow. What an amazing woman.
And my
Wow.
sisters are not no horse women out there wearing tight pants. I don't have no sisters that have a whole bunch of bastard children. I have sisters that were virgins until they got married. And my siblings, sisters are honorable women. And I like to say my brothers are honorable men because we don't have a whole bunch of bastard children out here. So
Mm.
I thank my mom and dad that they're not here. If you're looking down on me, your son loves you. And I appreciate you because they raised a productive child, which I am. They taught me balance. I was
Mm.
fortunate to have that at home, my siblings and I.
That's beautiful.
This is how important it is. So that's why I'm being put in position because it's the ancestors that are doing it. Being put in position so I can be the savior and salvation of my family.
Yes, sir. That's
Gotta clean
beautiful,
it up,
Chief.
ladies. Stop saying that I don't need a man. Well, you should say you need a man. You should, I want one. I want a man because I feel like a woman. A
Ooh,
man can touch me in a
absolutely.
way that I can't even touch myself. My hands are small. When he put them big hands on me, with them big shoulders, them arms on me, and make me just feel like I'm gonna melt, that's what I want. I want a man. I don't need one. I want one. So let me
Mm,
get myself in the order and become beautiful, sexy, inner and outer, soft spoken. Because I know the softer I am, that he gonna bring me all that hardness.
mm.
I can't be
Speaking of
hard myself.
hardness,
And that's
speaking of
what we need to do.
hardness,
So that's what kind of woman I want. Because the woman I get, I'm 6 feet, 240 pounds. I'm gonna snatch my woman up, throw her up, protect her. And if something harm come my way, I'm willing to protect you with my life. I'm willing to die for you. So you can't die for me, baby. So shut that little cute mouth up. Fix me some turkey bacon and eggs. Glaze them legs up, and Chief Mac gonna bring the business to your ass and put you to sleep. And that's how it works around here. And so that's your femininity will bring that out in the man.
mm.
So that's what we need to do, ladies.
Chief, woo, you make a sister sweat over here. But hey, Chief, Sister Catherine says you also sound like the type of woman. I guess she's talking about me. To ask a woman, what did you do or say to him when he beats your butt or slaps you around all the time? It's my fault. I need to do better. And I get this a lot, that I must be the type of woman that will blame a woman if a man is hitting her. Because anytime you say something about we need men, then some women will come on and say men are abusive, men are mean, men are cheaters, blah, blah, blah. And I get it, but
True. And
they,
you know what, Dr. Here, that's true. There's no pass for the man. Some men, some men need their ass kicked by other men. They don't need to go to jail. They need to get ass kicking. Some men. Because you around here putting your hands on women. So don't get it wrong. Our man is jacked. Some men are jacked up too. That's not the gate there. I'm not saying that. And if that's the case, women, don't settle. You speak.
and
You speak it into existence. Speak your man into existence. So that
that's
means that
right.
go in there and do some groundwork. Start exercising and working out. If you want the kind of man you want, go to the gym and exercise and work out. Start going places, things that you like to do. You know that to make yourself more attractive, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Make yourself. Don't because the man that you get while you're down won't be the man that you want while you're up.
Wow.
Hmm?
Beautiful.
So clean your house up because you get a man while you're down, and then on your way up, he ain't the man that you want. And then all of a sudden, he sees you switched up on him. Now he pissed off at you because you play with his
Mm,
emotions.
mm.
So that's why I am getting myself together. That's why I decided to be single right now, so I can become the best man that I can be to my queen.
Yes, sir.
I'm cleaning up Chief Mac from the inside out. And that's what many of us need to do because we were designed to be the yin and the yang. It works beautifully. That's why you got the sun and the moon. The creator
Mm,
said he made the sun and the moon.
mm.
He made a greater light and called that greater light him. He made a lesser light. It don't mean that it's lesser, but he made a lesser light. That lesser light is her. It's her. And
Chief,
they
I
work
will
good
also
together.
go ahead.
They
Sorry.
work good together.
I will. Yes, yes, we work good together. We synergize. We balance each other out. And to my sister's point about,
Give me about to go inside here. Give me about a 5 to 10 minutes. I'm about to go in so y'all continue to talk. I'm listening, but I gotta go in here and get some my suit out.
okay, okay,
Good.
and I'm gonna get off shortly after that, Chief.
Okay.
Um, so I will say, sisters and brothers, that I don't blame a woman if a man has hit her. I don't believe in men hitting women, and I don't believe in women hitting men. I don't, and so I hear a lot of women say that men are abusive, and some of them are, and those men need to be dealt with. I just want to also caution us ladies, because a lot of ladies are very loose with the lips. When I've seen it, what women, I don't know, maybe it's the television shows where a lot of women, they get sassy. I've seen women like push men in the face or call them names or say you a mama's boy or think they can hit a man, and so women think sometimes women have gotten to the point we think we can do anything we want, say anything we want, act any kind of way we want, dress any kind of way we want, and a man can't respond at all. We can hit him, and if he does something to constrain you or to keep you from hitting him, oh, he's abusive. You could yell at him, cuss at him, and bring all this negative energy, and no, he should never hit you. But I've seen women literally stand in front of a man, block doors so he could. I'm like, what is going on? So no, I'm not going to ask a woman, what did you do to cause him to hit you? But I am going to ask you, if you're telling me that this man, is, said that you're abusive or that, you talk too much, I'm going to ask you, do you talk too much? Because here's the thing about men, and see, women that we just really think we're equal. Here's the thing that men understand about each other. Men understand and overstand that when they have confrontations or they have conflict, somebody's about to get these hands. It's going to be a big deal. Somebody might end up unalived or dead. So men don't confront each other like that. They typically don't just pop off at the mouth, say something slick, hit another man, joke and jest, call him a clown, say you a mama's boy, say you lazy, say you're shifty, say your sex wasn't good, say you can't, your penis is. Men don't do that to other men because they know you're going to catch these hands. But women forget how men get down. They fight. That's how they deal with conflict. They fight. And so sometimes a man has to, oftentimes a man has to control himself if you're hitting him, if you're disrespectful. And it's a natural reflex. It's wrong, but it's a natural reflex for me to want to retaliate some kind of way if you hitting on me. And see, this is something that women have gotten away with. Now, I'm not talking about women that are being beat or men that can't control themselves. I'm talking about a lot or some women have hit men and thought they were equal and thought they can just keep belittling a man and he wasn't going to either try to move you out of his way or constrain you or deal with you or tell you to shut your mouth. So, and people don't want to hear that. They never want me to hear the other side. They never want to hear the man's side. They never want to hear anything that we could have possibly done to get out of control. They never want to hear that, we've done anything. Well, he can't tell me how to dress. Who cares if all my body is showing? Because a man treasures and honors what's his or what he's supposed to be protecting. He doesn't want it all out there loose for everybody to see. A man doesn't want to be confronted and have you question his every move. A man doesn't want us to mother him. A man doesn't want us nagging him. A man doesn't want certain things. Why can't we just fall in line as women? I don't understand. Again, I'm not talking about abuse. I'm talking about there's a way to communicate with a man because men are not like women. They're not just going to hear you running your mouth all day.
No, he want his average.
But people don't want to hear a woman say that, so I'll be quiet.
Of course, yeah. I want that. I want that. Bring it. I want that.
Yeah.
But no, I don't support women being hit by men. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because men should not put their hands on anybody. Period. That hasn't done anything to them. And men are more strong than we. Men are stronger than we. They know that. Do you know that? As a woman, do you know that a man is stronger than you? Physically, and that we're not the same. Respect works both ways, Sister Emily says. Thank you, Sister Emily. Sister Barbara says, we should all keep our hands to ourselves. Thank you, Sister Barbara. Our sons had to run away from his baby's mother. Wow. I thank you, Sister Barbara, for that testimony. I know that's self-disclosure. I really appreciate you. That's very personal. So I honor you for sharing that. We don't hear the man's side of things, Sister Barbara, that some men literally have to run from some of these women because they're hitting on them. They're jumping on their backs. They're cutting them. They're cussing them out. They're spitting on them. They're shaming them. They're talking bad about the man's mother. And I don't get this thing that women have against men that love their mothers. You hear women, oh, he's a mama's boy. He love his mama too much, or he need to choose me over his mama. Why he got to choose? Look, I wish a woman would tell my son, choose me over your mama. Are you crazy? I gave birth to him. He doesn't have to choose. He can love us both because he has a mama and a wife. What is wrong with women today? That if a man loves his mother, he wants to take care of her, wants to make sure she's okay. He's a mama's boy. Now, maybe some women have become too dependent on their sons. I don't know. And maybe she need to go out and find her own man. I don't know. But what if her husband died? In other societies, I've traveled the world. The eldest son takes care of the mother. The men takes care of the mother, her brother, her uncle, especially if her husband has passed on. I don't understand women that think they're supposed to be the only thing in a man's life, the only concern. I would never fix my lips to say, I come before your mother. Ever. I've never said that. I don't understand that type of thinking. I don't get on like that. Your mama gave you life. It wasn't for you or your mama. I wouldn't know you. It wasn't for your daddy. I wouldn't know you. Now that I'm married in your family, I am a part of your family. And you're a part of mine. And guess what? If your mama gets sick, it is my job to help you take care of her, not shove her off into a nursing home, not say she's somebody else's responsibility, not say you a mama's boy because you want to make sure she's got somebody taking care of her or her rent paid. Now, if she's fully able to work, I get that. So, but I'm still gonna stay in my place. So I don't understand this calling men names. You a mama's boy. You're no good. You're this. You're that. You're weak. I don't know that. And we wonder why we don't get chosen. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I know how with my sister.
Men who love their mothers generally treat their mother better. Sister Emily, isn't that the way we were taught? Always, go for the man who loves his mom. Watch the way a man treats his mom, because if he treats his mom well, typically he's going to treat you well. That's the way they trained us. I agree, Sister Emily. I don't know what happened. Again, I'm not talking about situations where, I don't know, some people say men can go overboard. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that means, because if your mama doesn't have a house, guess what? I don't care. She can be unbearable. She can be mean. I don't care. She's moving in with us. And as the wife, and your companion, your other half, I want to fall in line and I want to submit myself to your mother. Like I'm just raised differently. I'm gonna shut my lips. When y'all having a conversation, I'm gonna stay out of your conversation. I'm gonna go mind my business over here. If y'all on the phone, if you're in person, if you're talking family business, I'm going to be over here minding my business. If you bring me as my husband in and say, baby, you can sit down and listen, then I'm going to come in. But I'm not going to just assert myself just because I'm your wife. I ain't all that. You had a family before I came in. I'm grateful to be a part. That's just the way I was raised. I guess I'm different. So many women and men have been programmed to do the opposite of what works in relationships, Sister Laura says. You're just speaking truth and experiencing women who are in cognitive dissonance. The programming is truly deep. Thank you, Sister Laura. And I have to admit, Sister Laura, I know that I'm traditional, and sometimes I might need to lighten up a little bit and be a little more empathetic, because a lot of people didn't grow up the way we were raised. But like you said, I'm looking at what we did and how we were raised. And I'm looking at like how the programming has really further divided us. And so I'm thinking maybe going back to some of our old principles is a good idea. So these are just my thoughts, family. I feel like men need women and women need men. And if we don't need each other, at least we should desire each other because we synergize. We're the opposite of one another. And the children need both parents in the house. So I would encourage us, family, to really think about the programming we've received and see if it's worked out for the benefit of our family. Did it work out for the benefit of the children? Because let me tell you something. You can be a single parent and do a great, phenomenal job with your children. But there will come a time, mark my words, there will come a time, especially if you have sons, where your son will crave his father. There will come a time where your son will test you because men test each other. Men are made, they have to test. That testosterone start kicking in about the age of 12. You gonna want him to be with his daddy. You gonna want him to, you gonna call his daddy, his uncle, your father, his granddad, somebody to come get this boy and hem him up so you don't have to knock the wind out of him. There will come a time where you're gonna need that father.
And the last couple of years, I have my suit make a certain way.
There will come a time when your daughter will need her father. Hear me out. So I would encourage us, even if we don't get along with the father, the situation was bad, please do all we can to make sure the children have a good relationship with their father because they love their dads, and make sure they have a good relationship with their mother. If you're raising your children fathers, they're going to love their mother, and they're going to always crave the parent that they're not with most times, and they're going to need them. So make sure they have a good relationship. A lot of people don't like when men, like Kevin Samuels has said this, but a lot of women really would have been better off if we had stayed with our children's father.
But I go in there and she had it just right.
Because what's the option? I didn't say all women. I said a lot of them. What's the option? To be out here in this marketplace competing? And believe it or not, a lot of men don't want to raise another man's children because that's a liability to him. There are some that will, and they do a phenomenal job. God bless them. But there are a lot of men that are like, it's too much of a liability. I can't really chastise the children. I got to deal with the other children's father or fathers. She might not really like what I have to say all the time. The child might grow up and say, you're not my daddy. It's like, it's a give or take how it can happen.
So let me see.
I'm not talking about in cases of abuse or if he was a horrible cheater or horrible alcoholic or all I'm saying is some of us would have been better off if we stayed with or tried to work out things out with the child's father, because the other options out there don't necessarily look good. But there are some cases when you have to leave. I get it. I've been there, done that, or have to leave, quote, end quote. But whenever you have all these buffers in place saying, oh, you don't really have to work out your marriage because I have all these government benefits I can give you, or you don't really have to work out your marriage because you're a strong, independent woman, you can make it work, you can do everything by yourself, then you might be more inclined to listen to that rhetoric or that programming. But honey, being a strong, independent woman is not fun. It takes a lot of energy. I don't believe we were designed as women to be out here working 8, 10, 12 hours a day and then come home and raise children. It's too much. It takes too much energy. It's too much on our bodies. Then we're too drained and we're too tired for our families. And if you need a husband, you're too tired to go out there and try to compete. Right? That's all I'm saying. Sister Laura says, all that is old will be honored again. Sister Leslie said, I've been there, done that. I know that's right. Our bodies just aren't designed, family, to do all that. And so some of us are having an awakening. We're like, look, I bought into the programming. It may have benefited me in some ways. Many ways it did not. But I want companionship. So here's the thing. Men grant access, right, to relationship. We grant access to sex. They ask us, will you be my woman? Will you be my wife? Right? So they determine what the market should look like because they're the buyers. So if they're the ones that's buying, hear me, I'm not saying we're a commodity. I'm not saying we're property or we're meat, but if they are the ones that control the market and they're the ones that ask for your hand in marriage or ask for you to be in covenant, ask for you to be their woman, then that means we need to know what it is they desire and fit that, qualify. And I heard Chief Max say, be feminine, be soft, be the opposite of what I am. Take care of your body. He said, because I'm taking care of my body. He said, he's going to wrap his strong arms and hands around you and make you feel protected. He's going to go out there and protect for you. He's going to hunt for you. He's going to lay his life on the line for you. He then going to come home from doing all that and lay you or rock you to sleep, if you know what he meant. When you want to qualify for that, a man like that has what? Needs and qualifications. Needs and qualifications. So why not fit what the man needs? Peace, love, and harmony, ninth child. Sister Constant says, I'm finding that women behave like they're more entitled these days compared to the years ago when I was younger. Yeah, we didn't feel entitled. We were honored, grateful to be selected to be a man's wife, to be selected to be provided for, protected, to know he's going to give his life for us and take care of our children. Honored. Ninth child said, I so regret leaving my children's father. Ninth child, God bless you and heaven smile on you for even being vulnerable enough to say that. God bless you. God shower down on you. May the Most High give you everything you need just for being so open and honest. And I pray, I hope, I trust, I command things to work out for your benefit and on behalf of your children. Sometimes that's all men are asking is for us to just say, you know what? There are some things I could have done differently, or maybe he did a whole lot of bad, but maybe I could have worked it out. Or I regret that it didn't work out. That's all men are asking for is accountability. I feel you, sister. I've been there. I have been there where I regretted my decisions. And I tried to make it up and I did it the best of my ability. And some things it was just too late for me. And then some things I were able to compensate for. But at the end of the day, it's the children that suffer. God bless you, ninth child. Drop your Cash App in the chat, ninth child, please. Just your honesty, the purity of your heart is beautiful. Drop your Cash App in the chat. I found that being celibate and grounding yourself, Sister Leslie says, and meditate helps a whole lot in everyday life and look at things differently without judgment. I agree. You're welcome, Sister Ninth Child. I hope you will drop your Cash App in the chat. So, family, let us know what you think about this situation. Greetings, Donald, Brother Donald, about repairing families and how men and women need each other, or at least, even if you don't want to say you need each other, how we complement each other. How maybe we've kind of gotten out of pocket thinking that we can stand alone. Maybe if we find a way to get back in covenant with each other, society will be better off and our children will be more healthy and happier. So that's about it, family. I just wanted to talk to you all about how a lot of women are saying they can't find men. They're going to mixers, they're going to parties, they're going out, or they outside. We outside, the young people say, but the men are not gravitating towards them, or the men are not there present. So the women are like online complaining, saying, what happened? Why aren't the men choosing us? Where are all the men? Why aren't they outside? First of all, some men don't want women that are outside for marriage. They don't want that. They don't want to choose from outside. But even the ones who will or who do, some of them are just not there because they don't have to be, because they're in high demand. They will literally be attacked and out here in these streets because their women are so hungry. It doesn't matter what women are saying with their lips. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. It's tiring being a boss chick. It's exhausting raising children by yourself. If the women didn't want a man, then why are there so many women showing their bodies? Why are so many women out at the mixers? Why are they online complaining about men? And the truth of the matter is not that we haven't come into contact with good men, it's that we didn't want them. Maybe they didn't meet the superficial needs of being 6 foot tall, making six figures. I don't know where are all these men that supposedly making six figures. I don't know where are all these men that are over 6 feet. I don't know. There's not that many men that are over 6 feet, family. We've been tricked. We've been duped. And again, why does he have to make all this money when we're both coming in usually with some debt or bills? Why can't we just put what we have together and make it work? Because what is the other side of that? Being alone? Well, okay. We can do that. But the divine masculine and divine feminine should come together. It's the law of the universe. One of the laws of the universe is the 24, some people say 24 laws, some people say 48 laws of the universe govern the universe. One of them is the masculine and the feminine operate together and synergize because they're compatible. That's what makes the world work. That's what brings life. That's what sustains life. So we need each other, family. I'm still live, roots deep. So that's it, family. You heard from Dr. Kia Pruitt and Chief Mac here today. We've been on for an hour and 31 minutes. Omi says, I feel people should begin to speak on what they as individuals need versus subjecting the masses to their beliefs. Not everyone is here for the same reasons or lessons. Absolutely. And so, this is because I have a channel that's about family, wealth, and legacy. I have a tendency to talk about those things. But there are other channels that talk about how to just get money. There are other channels that talk about how to be a boss chick. There are channels that talk about how to diss women and how you don't need women. There are channels out there that talk about use men for their money only, how to level up, how to trick men. There are all those channels out there. And I say, if that's what people subscribe to, they should be free to do what they will. Over here, we will talk about family, wealth, and legacy. Because the feminine and the masculine balance each other out. And as time stamping says, we're the result of that balance. Ezra said it's electromagnetism. Yes, there are channels out there for everybody. Over here, I talk about elegance. I talk about grace. I talk about how to be very kind, very pleasant, how to attract what you desire. I wrote a whole book called Become the Person You Wish to Attract. It's out there. Probably not one of my best works because I wrote it like 14 years ago, many, many years ago when I was still blooming. But how to become the person you wish to attract. I wrote for the San Francisco Examiner and the Sacramento Examiner as a relationship coach or a love coach years ago. And I did extremely well. So that's why we talk about family here. I have a family. We have 8 children. I buried my children's father 3 years ago. I have a good relationship with any of the men that I had been in a relationship before. My mom told me the other day, she said, any man that marries you at this point is going to be happy because you don't have a high body count. And I was like, wow, you know how amazing it is for your mother to say that? To say, I've never seen you with, and I don't have a problem with people that have a bunch of companions. How else are you going to, some people learn by doing. But for her to say, you're a good woman, you're a wholesome woman, you know how to treat your man, whoever gets you is lucky. That made me feel good. To have my sister-in-law to sit me at the table in Texas when I was with her, she's married to my brother, and say, you are a prize, Kia. She said, you're winning. Because my brother had us to take assessments. She said, your demeanor, the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you raise your children, the way you took care of your husband, the way you are to men, the way you are with women, how elegant and graceful you are winning. But your sister-in-law to say that blessed my soul. And my brother also said, you're doing very well. But because he is my brother and he is a covering for me and he's a male, he said, this is what I want you to work on. We know what happened in previous relationships. This is what I want you to work on. You know how to take care of a man. You know how to please a man. You know how to be submissive. What I need you to work on is, if there's something you don't like, be assertive, not disrespectful, not aggressive, be assertive and state how you feel and stand on it. And he gave me other things to work on. So I am up for criticism and critique by my covering. Chief Mac critiques me. My friend Taj critiques me. I have a friend named Murray. He critiques me. I have male friends that critique me. I have brothers-in-law. My brother-in-law Dexter, the oldest of the family, my husband's oldest brother, critiqued me to the time he closed his eyes. My pastors critique me. My mom critiques me. There's a woman that trained me in ministry, Evangelist Dempsey. She critiques me. She watches my show. I haven't been under her in ministry in over 15 years. She watches my show and she say, okay, that was beautiful, but watch your language. And I'm not even talking about cussing. I'm saying to don't, make sure you're still feminine, or you did very well. Make sure you do this better or differently. You know what I say? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ezra says you're a phenomenal woman. That means so much to me. Thank you so much. God bless you. You can look, my book is Become the Person You Wish to Attract on Amazon, or you can just type in Dr. Kia Pruitt on Amazon. Crystal says you're a beautiful woman. Constructive criticism is good to hear. Thank you so much. Thank you. Benjamin says, very elegant. You are a beautiful queen. God bless you. Thank you. You're wonderful. Oh my gosh. You know what? I appreciate you. It is an honor to be your reflection. Thank you. So that's about it. You're welcome, Sister Emily. You're welcome, family. All of you, some of you were giving me a Cash App blessings. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I honor you. I respect you. And I am most grateful. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. You heard from me today and Chief Mac. I trust that I said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Go out and make this a great day. And the next video should be about geopolitics, or the revaluation of currencies, and how we can become wealthy. But what good of it is it to have wealth when you don't have anybody to enjoy it with? What good is it to have wealth when we're trying to build up healthy societies? Healthy, thriving societies are built upon healthy, thriving communities. Healthy, thriving communities are built upon healthy, thriving families. A healthy, thriving family starts and begins with a healthy, thriving you. So I love you, family, from the depths of my soul. Go out and make this a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you.